this is Nancy Hines Glazer with SOMAtv for all art, all the time. And I always have a great time going out into artist studios and galleries, and I'm lucky enough today to be at the studio and gallery of Berc Ketchian. Hello, Berc.
Hi, thank you.
How are you? I'm excited
I'm fine.
because we're going to have a chance also to talk about the collaboration you have with Mona Lisa, right?
We have to.
Absolutely, that's very important. But what I wanted to do is, since I've known you, gosh, I think about 8 years, maybe longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last time you were on was about 2002 or 3.
Yes.
And things have changed for you.
Well, you know, a lot of things, yeah.
You've
I was
changed.
in South Orange. I moved to Maplewood. So I find that place. That's my studio in the back. It's a little gallery of the works. And then we got Krista over here. She's her framing. She's an excellent framer. I will tell you that much. And I'm very glad to make that collaboration. We complete each other. He's a good friend. What can I say? I paint, she frame.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, also, one of the things when we first talked about you coming on again was to do a little bit of an education for the public, because you're very big on understanding the wider world of art. Many of us may not be.
Education, I'm not an educator, but I gotta tell you one thing. In the frame shop here and there, in my other occasion, I find people, they pay enormous money for some print, poster, this, that. They can have an original from an artist for that price. I would like to tell them one thing. Meet an artist, me or somebody else, buy a little original. It's worth a time of the artist and is valuable. The rest of it, you can cover some wall. I'm not saying I'm against it, but you can have something for a future for the family or thing, you know, who knows,
To pass on.
who knows
Yeah.
what we can be.
Right.
And I think it's better to spend a little bit more money or a little bit less money than some print worth and meet the artist and have buy a little time of his life. And can be sketch, can be watercolor, can be oil, because, you know, it can be a large, or, you know, I'm in the town, they can commission something, portrait or anything. And, you know, it cannot be only, I'm not talking only for myself, I'm talking about, we have a large artist colony around this town, where we saw that in artist tour, there is a lots of artists living, and it will be profitable for these guys, then, you know, like us, then we can keep going.
Exactly. I think there were close to 60 or so of the artists,
Yeah.
including the venues that had artists in them.
Because
So
most of us, we are not commercial artists, we are fine art artists. We are not living anything else than produce work, present, and sell. So it's be more educational for the kids, for them, you know, for everybody to have, you know, just use their heart and their eyes, whatever they like. It can be an abstract work, it can be any kind of work, but it's an original piece. It can be small size, well, you know, every budget and any budget. I think, my opinion, that's where it start, a little education and buying an art. Buy something from an artist, whoever it is, wherever you can find an original piece.
and because you said you're buying a piece of their time, and so it
Yeah.
is of value to actually talk to the artist too,
Exactly.
if you can. We're lucky enough to
Exactly.
do that
You're
around
buying
here. But
time. I'm not saying that I'm being Picasso or this or that, but I will, you know, I know my work. I know other people's work, then they are my friend. They will be somewhere. They're not going to disappear, those work. Because we have quite a good artist in this town and South Orange. I have that experience from the art, you know, the studio tours, and I did myself tour, and I know approximately most of them. They will be great to see people coming and you know, just choosing from, it doesn't have to be on the large proportion or this and that, but buying from an artist.
Well, and I think really when you put it that way, it may explain for others why a painting, or regardless of the size, may be so costly, as opposed to a print of an original.
It's, you know, some
It's their
some
time.
people can believe, you know, this is not a square feet problem. It's depending the subject you work. I work people. If you can buy a small piece or large piece with one person inside, you know, one person and one expression, and then you buy the same size of painting with 20 different people on some occasion, it cannot be the same. The price change by the timing I put to a painting.
Right. And actually, a lot of your paintings have many, many people in them.
Yeah,
and
I
it's all
love
part
that.
of the allure of your
That's
work.
my
and
storytelling.
It is.
I'm
You're
a storyteller with brush.
absolutely.
You know, I cannot write, but I can paint. All these things that you gotta see around, they have a story. They have a purpose. They're part of my life. It didn't come up with, you know, just the purpose of filled up a canvas, because I'm nobody waiting online. So I paint when I really feel to say something. And those paintings, every corner of them, there is a point with me, with my life, with my friends, with my past, nostalgia, anything.
Yeah, well, nostalgia, and I think that what appeals to many people about your work is it resonates not just from Turkey, Bodrum, France, wherever, but it resonates for a person and a feeling. You get emotion out of your people in your
Sure.
paintings.
Sure.
Is that a conscious thing, or does it sort of flow off the brush? How does that work?
No, you know, it's. Sometimes I sit down and I'm thinking what I'm gonna paint, and days and days, you know, it doesn't say, you know, I'm not. How can I say? Collaborating with the white canvas yet. But suddenly something happened. A guy, a friend of mine come, he said, did I paint you? And I sit down and I said, you know that conversation, you know this, and then we start to build. And then I go to inside and I start to sketch out the painting. And you know, and then something else coming up, and one corner, the other corner, that's how, I don't know how I do.
Okay, I don't want you to give away the trade secrets anyway, because there's only one Berc, and we
yeah.
want it that way. We want to keep it that way. One of
Well,
the
that I can say one thing.
yeah.
I'm proud of any kind of anything I put in a paper, in a canvas, in anything I do, because if I'm not satisfied, they go to the garbage. Because they gotta stay, I gotta go. I have integrity still. I'm living in an old-fashioned way, but they will stay. So they will represent me. Each piece, it's a part of me. So I taking care of them the way they are.
You take care of your paintings, they'll take care of you.
Take
Kind of like a car. But anyway, tell us just briefly, you have about 16 galleries across the
Yeah,
country
in-
and the
in-
world that
in-
represent your work.
In the United States, it's 13, 12 gallery in the United States, 2 gallery in Turkey, and 2 gallery in Canada, and 1 gallery in Italy.
Okay, and where in Italy is your gallery? Because I want
Torino.
Okay. Now, one of the things I was so excited by is I remember you telling me.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
it's not gallery, it's a representation, which he got all the right from me to make the distribution anywhere he wants.
Right.
So that's my representative in Italy.
And they get a percentage
Sure.
for that commission.
Sure.
It's a commission on a sale,
Sure.
pretty much. But
Sure.
the reason I asked is I remember having an opportunity to look just the other day at your book from the Biennale.
Mm-hmm.
Very prestigious, world recognized
he's a
exhibition.
prestigious show,
Yeah. And you've been in it at least twice, I think,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
No, once, and the other one it was a participation, which was not my, I was with a friend. Then I give him 2-3 paintings, so in his wall space. So we didn't share. He just asked me, because he's the same quality than whatever
On the
I
same
paint.
level
Yeah.
as you, and
The
you
other
knew
one
you would be
was
there.
me.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, that's pretty prestigious. Did you find that the world of art collectors there, or the communication, even if there was a language barrier, was different? Or is the communication the same because art speaks the same?
Well, I think it's a 2 week process, not exactly 2 weeks, 10 days process. All Europe, all over in the world, from United States, so it's a pretty large and good stuff, mostly. It's good to compete with other artists over there. You meet lots of them, and that's how I met a guy. Then he would like to represent my work, and
The response is pretty
Yeah.
similar, do you think, in this country,
Well, we have
Canada?
Johnny
or-
Center over here. Then
Yeah.
he does the art show every year.
Is it the same response to your work or
Uh,
different in Europe?
Europe is a little different because Europe, by their lifestyle, they like people, they like cafe, they like this, in a nightlife and this and that. So my painting reflect more to their, perspective of view.
Yeah, the sensibility
But
of
I-
a European.
I have also over here a lot, good response from all the galleries until now, and I'm living with what I do. It's almost a lot of years.
And it's all, how many years actually? How many
Painting,
years, yeah.
I paint almost 45, 50 years now.
You can't be that old.
I don't know.
I don't know, there must be a mistake in that figuring now.
I used to be an architect also.
Yeah, and we're gonna go a lot more into your background, because we're just gonna go for a break in a minute. We're gonna go into that, because I think it's important for the
Alright.
audience to understand the depth of experience you bring to each piece of work. But I really, what I find fascinating is you're unique. There's nobody else out there doing the work that you do. And I knew that when I first met you, and it's still true today.
I'm an impressionistic artist. Let's understand. I'm not creating a new line of a new complete concept of a painting, but my story is mine. It's my stories.
It's your own voice and your own story.
My stories,
Okay.
my brush stroke, and I know I got my own way developing all these years, working constantly, but there is a lot of people can do, painting like that.
Nobody can do a Berc, but we're actually gonna get rid, no one can do a Berc. I'm sorry, they could try to be one, but it's only you.
Everybody is unique on their own.
Exactly.
Copy, you understand right away who does that, because there is also a lot of, but nobody can beat the story, what you're telling, what you're trying, because you can understand right away in the canvas. Then you see me somewhere, you see my girlfriend, you see my friend, you see my father playing card. It's my life. You gotta live my life to paint like that.
Okay, right. I don't know if I can handle it, but we're going to have to talk more about that when we come back from our break. And I'm so glad you're back here with me. I really am. Thank you. We'll be back in just a second. Hi, welcome back. This is Nancy with Meet the Artist and All Art All the Time on SOMAtv, and we're back with Berc Ketchian, better known as Berc or Art by Berc, well known to all of us in the area during the studio tours as well as a merchant and artist in the community. So
Wow.
just before I know, and next you'll be Pope. No, just kidding. And before we went away on the break, I just wanted to start digging a little bit into your history so you can set the context for us, where you came from and when you came to America, and a little bit of your earlier years in the art world here.
Born in Istanbul, Turkey, and grew up over there. 17, I went to France, Nice. I stayed over there another 6 years. Then I went to Paris. Then I went back to Istanbul, build the business, which I was an architect in the same time, and building house in south of Turkey. Greek island. It's my favorite. Crazy places.
A few stories and paintings from that.
Always I was when the nightlife is long until next morning, 5. So then we decided to come over here, took the family, few suitcases, and we ended up in New Jersey. Over here I used to have a few gallery in
Fort Lee.
Fort Lee area. Then I went to my studio in Manhattan, and I have also a gallery in Manhattan, antique and art.
And furniture, painted furniture.
Painted furniture, exactly. And then some coincidence, good coincidence, brought me in South Orange. So I have my studio, if you remember.
I do, of course I do.
That's where we met.
Yes, I do.
And then I got my little, the little gallery and the studio in the backyard. So then they throw me out for $100 more to pick up from the other guy.
You just found a better opportunity.
But I find that place 3 years ago, and it was a friend of mine, the La Belle Maison. So he proposed me they was gonna go buy a new place for them. And I'm so happy in Maplewood. Then this winter something beautiful happened. I got my nice friend and a very, very quality girl on his business. She knows his business A to Z. Krista came to me and asked if we can join. I said, with pleasure. Now we are together.
And
What
that
else
is
you want?
that. Well, and no, I remember one little story you told me. Maybe I was in private conversation with you that when you were a young boy in France, if it was Nice or St. Paul de Vence, I don't recall, but you used to deliver for food service, and
for
you met somebody
Russian
important.
delicatessen.
Mm-hmm. Who did you meet
My
that was
mother,
important?
the girls that I was dating, the Armenian girl, her mother was doing this perashki, the Russian special gathering stuff. So I was delivering those things for her, and then one day I just deliver. I ring the garden bell. I find myself face to face with Picasso. It was for them. I didn't know, and I couldn't talk.
You were in awe.
The man was so nice. And it was a very hot day. I remember. I give all the delivery. He said, "You sit down, have a lemonade, drink something, water." Then I start to talk little by little. I'm an artist also, a street artist, that I'm trying to do so. He told me one thing. Whenever you're ready, your work to be seen by Picasso, come to see me again. Well, today even I'm not ready. I swear to God.
Well, that is.
Even today I'm not ready.
But
So
yeah, what a story.
That was a story. It was coincidental. But when you're young and when you're in the streets, you met things. Things happen. Or somewhere else. You Duke, and people in Canfield Festival time. So that was
a happy
yeah.
accident. Did it change you? Did it change your perception of what you
No.
wanted to do for yourself as a future career?
No,
Not at all.
It
was just a moment.
You're talking with the God, the guy, of this world. We only see her pieces in a museum, and then you deliver perashki or whatever it is, and then you find it. You can never ever have another occasion like that in life.
No, but actually I happen to think there was a reason for it, because just his
It's something
statement
that
to
I'm
you.
telling you. It's a beautiful story for my kids.
Yeah.
And for myself to meet a guy like him, especially Orson Welles, which I admire all my life, because I like also movies. And another coincidental in the morning, just I was trying to buy not free coffee from one of these cafe store because I have a friend, man sitting over there, and I bothered him. He was not bothered at all. He was so human. I'm telling you, I was street artist, I was selling my stuff in the street. And he offered me, he said, you have a breakfast? I said, no, not yet. 2 breakfasts. And he offered me a breakfast. Give his 45 minutes, a guy like me, thanks God he used to speak French. That's unforgettable. This is coincidence, lifetime coincidence. Orson Welles, you know. So these kind of things. And you paint these things happen, and then you want to remember that. And I paint the same place, not with Orson Welles, but I paint with a friend of mine, then he was a piano player in that little cafe, the outdoor cafe. So I call him Blues for Pierre. But behind Pierre, it's Orson Welles too.
Okay, so you pull it back from somewhere, it's
Yeah,
in the recess of
exactly.
your mind.
I could not put Orson Welles over there, but I remember that fact. That's the place, and then I put the pianist friend of mine over there, and that he was more attractive to do that. Things like that.
Well, and that's wonderful, and I just thought it was interesting, because I don't know anyone who's ever told me that story, that they met Picasso and they delivered food to him. And I happen to believe in my own little heart, and you don't have to agree with me, how's that? Us disagree, is that it was for a reason. And it was to keep you pushing, because you still say your art is not ready for Picasso to see.
I was painting when I was 4 years old, used that pencil like that I was doing people. But that's not mean that I was ready to show my work.
But you're still not, as you say. But that is what I find amazing.
Some of my painting, I don't,
you would talk to them.
I will show it.
Okay, that's
some
good.
Of them.
That's good. Well, the story you just told also about speaking in French is the story of a gentleman who used to live in the area. And just give me 30 seconds here. He's an older gentleman. He just passed away, and his dad came from Spain and was painting in the reservation. And a man came up to admire his painting, and there were 8 little kids running around, and he tried to talk. He only spoke Spanish, the other men only spoke English, and they shared the language of France. That man was then selected to become one of Edison's earliest engineers, and it was a private attaché for Edison. And to me, it's the connector of art and the stories that come from that connection that is so fascinating about your paintings, because it comes through. There's no question about it.
I don't know if another time, if I go to ring that bell, Picasso will open the door or they will accept you. Today, even the biggest collector couldn't go talk to him. He had one cell person all his life. But the things happen.
And, well, I have a question for you, and maybe you can answer this too, is when you sell a painting, do you have a curiosity about where it's hanging in somebody's home?
Oh yeah,
do you get a chance to go?
I know. Some of them I don't know. For example, Colorado Gallery, they got 6 gallery representation. They sell the painting. I know some of them, and I don't know most of them wherever they go. But around here, they come to buy from me. I know who they.
You talk personally about where they're.
Yeah.
So how does it feel as an artist? Is it like a writer or a playwright who doesn't want anyone to change the words in a play, even though it's getting produced, and you have a director who wants to couch it a certain way? Does it feel like you're letting it go?
The painting is already finished.
Okay.
And
so the process is done.
After you finish a painting, it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to the people. They have to hang. They have to enjoy. That's how you live. Because I'm not the other source of income, I have to sell it. So some of them I know, some of them, they are all over. The poster distribution, for example, they print from some of the poster 25,000. Each one is 5,000. So 25,000 of some, and they distribute all over.
They go wherever, and you don't know where they are. Okay, so yeah, it wouldn't be good if you held on to that and felt like it was the kid, right? Now you have a couple of shows coming up, right? Yeah. I know the first one actually here is called the Woman Show or Woman Show, highlighting nude, some of your nude series.
Yeah, it will be charcoal, watercolor, charcoal mix, watercolor, oil. And a different also mix some other paintings. So we will have the show here from the beginning of October until end of October.
December, end of December, end of October.
And
thought it
And
was
end of December.
Oh, yeah,
December,
I just
yeah.
remember there's a nice long chunk of time in there, so people can watch
Yeah.
you and then come see you. That's really important.
And then the painting that I have now on the wall, then we did in the studio tour, they will go to
10th
Muse,
Muse.
the
10th Muse.
Muse
Around the
Gallery.
corner.
In 20 October, I think they gotta start to have until the end of the December. And I have another show, upcoming show in New Hope. It will be, I think, in March.
Okay, of
I'm
2011.
not sure.
So we're
Yeah.
we're in 10 and that's 2011.
2011
Now the
in
gallery
March.
name changed. I followed
The
it.
gallery name, I think, is Bucks County Gallery now.
Okay.
Before it was Howard
Okay.
Copperman.
Howard
Gallery.
Copperman? Okay, all right, but so people tend to follow you kind of wherever you go, and if they buy a painting, they want to know where you're showing up next. Now, we only have 2 minutes left. Is there anything you want to tell the audience about anything we've discussed, the importance of framing? We only have 2 minutes.
Well, come and meet me. Have a coffee outside. Let's have, bring your kids. Bring also the kids. The kids are the most important. When they come to the gallery, they can question me. I can show them and I can see their work. If they have work to show me, I'll be very happy to see those ones. I like to find real talent. Some of us, we see, we love our kids, right? And we believe that it's a talent to make something. Some of them, they have great talent, and it's good to be discovered at that time. And I already discovered one lady. She's not, she's
You're not a kid?
no, she's I think 16, 17 years old, but great illustrator. And I like that. I really like that. My studio is open to anybody want to ask something, or you sit down and talk. I'm open to people.
Oh, I think
That's why I'm touchable. I'm not untouchable.
So you're a great artist, but you're not in an ivory tower.
No.
No. We're happy that you joined us. I want to thank you again, and
See,
next time it won't
can
be
I
6
give you a
years.
kiss, because this is the second time you're doing a great show.
Thank
Great
you,
show.
Berc. And thank you for joining us. Come on out and see Berc. 187 what is it?
Maplewood Avenue.
Maplewood Avenue in Maplewood. Thank you.